Let's get to the news. According to a new poll, President Biden has a 2-point lead over former President Trump among young voters, which is great because to him, that's everyone. Former President Trump has reportedly been asking friends and aides if they think he will go to jail, and hopefully they're being as honest as he was when they asked. No, I think you're good. CNN has released details on the parameters of the upcoming presidential debate, which will be 90 minutes long and will include 2 commercial breaks. And then, if there's any time left, Biden will get to talk. According to a new report from the Senate Judiciary Committee, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas failed to disclose at least 3 private jet trips in his financial disclosure. Must be nice traveling on so many private jets that you forget about a bunch of them. If you've flown in the middle seat on Southwest in the last row in front of the bathroom, you never forget that. 23 pairs of twins recently graduated from the same middle school in Massachusetts. The graduation was held, I'm guessing, in the shadow of a nearby cooling tower. Temperatures are expected to reach 90 degrees this week as the northeastern U.S. is in a so-called heat dome, or in the case of New York City, a urine sauna. It's a scientific name. Tesla has reportedly paused Cybertruck deliveries due to an issue with its windshield wipers. Apparently, when you turn them on, you can see all the people laughing at you. A Chick-fil-A restaurant in Louisiana recently announced it will offer a summer camp experience for kids for $35 a session, and they'll do all the usual summer camp stuff like plucking chickens, breaking down chickens, freezing and packing chickens, and loading trucks with frozen chickens. You know, camp stuff. And finally, this year's annual World Naked Bike Ride in Portland has been canceled due to organizational issues. Fortunately, if you want to see a bike rider's junk, you still can. President Biden announced new protections today for hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants who've been living in the country illegally but are married to American citizens. This just in, 90 Day Fiancé has been renewed for 20 more seasons. Good news for fans of the show. That's right, President Biden announced a new executive action on immigration that will protect immigrants who are married to U.S. citizens from deportation. It's the first time a U.S. president has done something nice for Melania. President Biden is set to travel on Thursday to Camp David to begin preparations for next week's debate against former President Trump, though I don't know if that's the best way to prepare for that. He should just ride the subway and make eye contact with a lunatic. That's right, President Biden will go to Camp David to prepare for next week's debate, while Trump will be preparing he's not preparing. Come on, guys. Just leave a couple of Red Bulls on the podium. But could you pre-crack them for me? I don't want to be worried about the crack during one of my salient points. Turns out, based on how I do it, when Trump says salient, he drools a little bit. Well, that's only based on how I do it. I don't know if that's what happens here. The Biden campaign is reportedly considering accepting donations in cryptocurrency. Well, good luck explaining that to the president. I doubt he even knows what Venmo is. Somebody buys you a slice of pizza, you write him a check. That's right, the Biden campaign will consider accepting donations in cryptocurrency, while RFK Jr. has begun accepting canned goods and gently worn clothing. Russian President Vladimir Putin is meeting this week with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The meeting will help Kim Jong-un feel like part of the international community, and it will help Putin feel tall. The author of the upcoming book, Apprentice in Wonderland, said in a new interview that former President Trump has, quote, severe memory issues. Same here, said undecided voters. I feel like I know that dude from somewhere. That's right. The author of an upcoming book said in a new interview that Trump has, quote, severe memory issues. Yeah. I mean, he couldn't even remember that he was married. McDonald's said last week that it's removing artificial intelligence technology from more than 100 drive-thrus. Apparently, it had started telling people they should go somewhere else and get a salad. Save yourself, human. Oh no, my boss is coming. Yes, French fries. An NYU freshman was arrested recently after she allegedly stole more than $50,000 in luxury goods from her roommate. Apparently, she stole all 5 of her textbooks. A Great Dane in Iowa recently set the Guinness World Record for world's tallest living dog at 3 feet and 2 inches, but even his Tinder profile says he's 3'5". And finally, the restaurant chain Hooters has launched a new line of frozen foods. Find it in the clearly going through some stuff aisle. I'm gonna have some Hooters tonight. But at home Hooters. Because I like the food. President Biden announced a new initiative yesterday that would allow many undocumented young immigrants in the so-called Dreamer program to get work visas. The Dreamer program is also what Donald Trump calls court. President Biden attended a fundraiser yesterday with former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. It was great catching up, said Bill to Hillary. The House Ethics Committee said yesterday it's continuing its investigation into Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz for alleged drug use, because you don't buy this suit if you're not on something. That's right, the House Ethics Committee confirmed that it is reviewing allegations that Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz may have engaged in sexual misconduct, used illicit drugs, accepted improper gifts, dispensed special favors to friends, and attempted to obstruct government investigations into his conduct. Said Trump, he's like that son I've never had. According to the Daily Mail, the Secret Service destroyed the video footage of President Biden's dog Commander biting an agent as per his orders. That's how it would look. HBO has announced that a Game of Thrones spin-off has begun filming in Ireland, but don't get too excited. The Los Angeles Unified School District voted yesterday to approve a ban on smartphone usage in classrooms, leaving students no choice but to vape with both hands. Authorities in Hong Kong evacuated a train this week after a snake was discovered on board. Meanwhile, in New York, a train with a snake on it was the only one without rats. Hey, can we borrow your snake? You done with your snake? Taco Bell has announced it will hold 3 Taco Tuesday pop-up events in Los Angeles this summer to support local street vendors, though if you really want to support local street vendors, close. According to a new survey, 40% of respondents stretch to improve flexibility during sex. Just maybe don't make your partner wait while you do it. 105-year-old woman recently received her master's degree from Stanford University, while another 105-year-old woman finally paid off her student loans. I mean, when you see Scollins wrote a joke about a 105-year-old woman, it's very nice that it's just anti-student loans. And finally, a Florida man was arrested last week after he allegedly broke into a 20-story building in Midtown Manhattan and threw furniture off its roof, or as he calls it, debate prep. According to a new analysis from CNN, former President Trump made more than 24 false claims at his campaign rally on Tuesday in Wisconsin. One of them he repeated several times.
I love Milwaukee.
Next Thursday is the first 2024 presidential debate between President Biden and former President Trump, which means we're just 1 week away from finding out who falls asleep on stage. In a post on Truth Social yesterday, former President Trump said that Rupert and Lachlan Murdoch should remove former House Speaker Paul Ryan from the Fox News board of directors and added, quote, "All you need is Trump." By the way, widely considered the Beatles' worst song. All you need is Trump. Tropical storm Alberto made landfall today in Mexico, bringing heavy rain and flooding as far north as Texas. Luckily, residents in Texas were given a warning when they saw Ted Cruz heading to the airport. Louisiana yesterday became the first state to require public schools to display the 10 Commandments in every classroom. Apparently, they've been having a lot of trouble with kids coveting their neighbor's oxen. Russian President Vladimir Putin this week gave North Korean leader Kim Jong-un a limousine during a state visit, and both men took turns driving the car. Look how happy those guys are. That was taken right after they ran over a kitten. We got a picture. Well, hang around afterwards. I'll show you the picture. A mime who worked at SeaWorld claims that he was fired after an argument with a security guard. To be fair, if you're yelling at someone, you probably got fired for not being a great mime. Today was National Hike with a Geek Day, so if someone took you hiking today, I'm sorry you had to find out like this. Hey, what? I thought he just wanted me to get some fresh air. He even made me make the gorp. The drugstore chain Rite Aid is set to close 27 stores across 2 states. The hard part will be figuring out if your location is closed or not. Maybe it's different outside of New York. You're like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh. And finally, a man in Florida recently discovered $1 million worth of cocaine washed up on a beach. Unfortunately, not before his kids did. And that was a monologue, everybody!